Now may I request Shri Lokesh Joshi sir to give his keynote address, founder Grokalp Limited.
So myself, Lokesh Joshi, I am the managing director of Grokal. I have spent around 15 years in mobility sector, working with Honda, Suzuki, Ashok Leyland, Hero, you name it, I have worked. So you can say 15 years I have polluted the world. So I thought let's become entrepreneur and clean the world now. So a small update on what Grokal is doing. We have three verticals. First is design thinking, where we understand customers, understand the problem, and we find a solution. Second is hydrogen. Hydrogen is one primary source which we believe can solve the net zero problem. We will try to understand whether it is possible or not. Third is AI. Right now, we are using AI for able people to become more effective. We are trying to develop AI for blind, that how AI can help blind people come into corporates. So today's focus is green mobility. We will have an interactive session. So I'll ask lot of questions. So be ready. I can point anybody and ask the question. So in last 170 years, we just increased 1.6 degrees Celsius temperature of the earth, only 1.6. And we have done our part. So now we are where we are heading. What do you think that by 2100 what will be the temperature? And most of the people in this auditorium I think will not be there when 2100 comes. So now let's see what happens in 2100. All this data is by scientists, no government, nothing. All people who have done research, projections made by scientists working in universities, institutes dedicated to environment. So this is not government, this is scientists. So I being a core engineer, so I believe let's talk about facts, data by scientists, by researchers. Okay. Now if we relax, we don't do anything, we'll just increase the temperature of earth by 4.8 degrees. And anybody can guess what will happen if we increase the temperature by 4.8 degrees? Anybody? The person who is taking photograph, green shirt. Any clue? Now, if you have seen science fiction movies, the wildest science fiction movies, even that cannot cover what will happen if 4.8 degree happens. And 2100 it will be for the next generation, not our generation. Now, if we have the current policies in place, we will increase it by 2.9 degrees Celsius. Now there are pledges, targets what government is taking. If they do it, they stick to their targets, they stick to their pledges, we will increase it by 2.1 degrees. And if we do radical changes, we touch 2 degrees. And the unbelievable technologies which we don't believe in right now, if that comes, we will be 1.5 degrees. So anyhow, we will increase the temperature. What we did in 150 years, we will be doing it in next 80 years. And it is not good, I promise you. Sorry. Now, if it now it is all about greenhouse gas emissions that increases the temperature of Earth. And anybody can guess what is the greenhouse gas emissions? What is the composition? What is the main gas in it? Sir, you any try? Yes, great. Okay, now we will distribute who is doing how much of crime. So in this, if you see crime by transportation, the topic what we are discussing, it is 28%. So there are other criminals also who have to think about it. So we'll focus on 28%. What we can do about this 28%. Now this 28% is divided into three segments. First segment, surface transport, cars, bikes, train, buses, trucks, everything included, two-wheelers. It is 91% pollution is by the surface transport. 3% is by air because they came late, so they are just 3%. Ship and boats is 6%. So now, when you give a challenge to engineer, they start working on it. But until unless you give a timeline and a challenge to engineer, he will not work. So both the things are there. 2100 is the timeline, and this is the challenge. So engineers started working. Let's see what happened. Sorry. So, now first we'll talk about the small uh, problem of air transport GHG emissions. We started flying somewhere, seriously flying around 1983 without any emission norms, without any control, and we are just free flying and polluting the whole air. Then, when we realize that it is not correct, when surface transport is already controlled in various norms, let's start controlling the emissions produced by airplane. And CAP is the norms which is given to aviation sector to control the emissions. And the best part happened in 2019 when they have given a uh, so- Corsia regulations to control the offsetting of carbon and emissions, so that they can really control what emissions they are producing. And when you can control, you can control it. If you don't calculate what is happening, you can't control it. So now they are like calculating what is happening in their sector. So let's not go too much in detail, but this is all has happened in the aviation sector. Now what is the future? We have to reach zero, net zero emissions. There is no other way. Until unless we reach net zero, you will not reach anywhere. So what is the way to reach net zero in aviation sector? Now Embraer is a company which was the like pioneer in the aviation sector. They have taken up the challenge. This is a company in Brazil. Okay, now this is surprise. It is a Brazilian company who has taken the challenge. Not US companies, but Brazilian company has given a roadmap that by 2050 we will set up the planes with net zero emissions. So how it will work, I will show you in the next slides. But yes, there is a roadmap available at the air transport sector that we can reach net zero emissions. Now the next is air and ships, boats, water transport. Now 1997 they started thinking about emissions, that how we can control the emissions, and they also have found a roadmap to reach zero greenhouse gas emissions. Now, how they will reach it? These are various steps they have identified, that by integrating the new technologies in energy, redesigning the ships, so we can reach zero gas house gases emissions, greenhouse gas. It is greenhouse gas emissions. Sorry. Now this is the strategy what water transport engineering teams are taking forward. We will take care of the bottom line because that is more relevant. Top is pure engineering. So bottom line, 1 to 10% greenhouse gas emissions can be controlled by energy management. 80 to 100% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions can be done through hydrogen and other synthetic fuels. 90% we can control by biofuel third generation. Uh, 35% we can do it with bioenergy, LNG and LPG. 50 to 90% we can do it by full electric ships and boats. So these all are under pipeline in engineering sectors. So we'll show you the examples also, how or what is the latest developments happened in these sectors. Now the biggest elephant in the room is the surface transport. We have done a lot of effort. We, like in 1970, whatever vehicle you were using, anyone who was using car in 1970, sir? No, 1980, 1970. So now if you are using another car, it is 99% cleaner than the car you were using in 1970. But unfortunately, 87% energy is waste, because IC engine operates in the range of 80 to 85%. That's it. So do whatever you want. We are just cleaning that 15 to 20% of energy. So IC engine age has come. Even though I am a mechanical engineer, I am in love with these technologies. But unfortunately, now time has come that we have to think beyond IC engines. To just give respect to mechanical engineers, what they have done in these many years, we have done everything from tire to steering wheels to we can see BS0, BS1, BS2, BS3, BS4, BS6, BS6.2, fuel injection, carburetors, what not, catalytic converters, flex fuels, ethanol, methanol, everything we have done. But it's all about 15 to 20%. 80% is still a waste. So we have to think beyond IC engines. Now, how to think beyond IC engines? What are the options available? Let's check. First is electric vehicle. Now, we discussed about lithium batteries and all. So as sir told that lithium batteries may or may not be good. There are a lot of doubts about electric vehicles. Anybody other than sir who has doubt on electric vehicle and what problem electric vehicle has in current scenario? Sir, you? Sir, electric vehicle. What is the problem you think electric vehicle has the problem? No, no, no. Huh? No, not infrastructure, sir. The electric vehicle. Battery life. Okay, they are giving 8-year warranty with 3.2 lakh kilometers. 3.2 lakh kilometers, sir. You have a car. Okay. No, sir, I'm talking about technical. People have a doubt on the batteries. Ah, good. So disposal of battery is a problem, but the electric vehicle companies are giving you a warranty that 3.2 lakh kilometer it will run, or you keep it for 8 years. Before that, they will replace the battery. Now, disposing the battery is a problem because it is a costly affair. So now, engineering teams are working on it that how we can recycle the batteries and take out the lithium again, which is not solved. It is not a viable solution, but Germany is working on it. So right now the best solution is let's go electrification. So technically all engineering people are agreeing on let's become electrified, and if you know, if you take the energy from the grid and you put it in the tires, you are using 95% of the energy. So from 20% you are reaching 95% plus the other problems of electric vehicle. So countries got serious. Let's do something, remove IC engines and get electrified and try to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. So Norway, if you see, it is saying that by 2025 they will become. If you see the color, it is zero electric vehicle sales 100%. So now zero emission electric vehicle. Okay. So Norway is very serious because if that 4-degree happens, Norway will go under the water first. So whoever is doing first, they are like on the risk of going underwater. So now you see the Singapore is also near almost near the sea level. So by 2040, these many countries have agreed that either they will be switching to complete electric vehicles, or they will remove all the IC engines and have only electric vehicles. Like old IC engine vehicles will be removed and we will have only electric vehicles. Now the bottom green countries, they have taken a pledge, net zero pledge, that they will not produce greenhouse gas emissions at all. So this is a challenging task for which they have developed a lot of strategies that how they will replace the energy. Even if you see the lamp here, it is a contradictory that we are talking about green and we are still producing greenhouse gas emissions. Sorry God, but it's happening. So that is the thing. Now let's talk about India. We are not that technological advanced. We don't have a grid. So Niti Aayog did a analysis. What will happen? By 2030, what will happen to India? Where we will be? So if you see the yellow color line, that shows optimistic view. What will happen in India in two-wheeler? Because maximum two-wheelers are there. Four-wheelers are still relatively less than the two-wheeler. So we assume that everything goes well, engineers work up to the performance, then by 2030 will be above 90% two-wheeler will be electric vehicles, and nothing happens. We don't do a good work. It will be hardly 3%. So on a safe bet, I believe that 50 to 70% will be electric vehicles in two-wheeler segment by 2030. So even India is betting on right now. Let's get electrified, help electric vehicle companies by giving incentives, FAME regulations. Sir, it is in Niti Aayog report. If you write Niti Aayog report, electric vehicle, two-wheelers, it will come. So it is, and bottom is the like title. It will get downloaded. It is easily available. It is a very beautiful report. I recommend that we should all read it. Now we talk about energy. What are the options available in front of us? Can somebody give me any energy alternatives other than petrol and diesel? Yes, solar. Next. Yes. Why hydrogen? No, we are talking about energy. We are not like burning it. Why energy? Why we selected why we selected petrol? Why we selected diesel? Why we are selecting hydrogen? See, you need energy. So same amount of, say you have X amount of diesel, X amount of petrol, X amount of hydrogen. Hydrogen has the maximum energy. Now the problem is how to use this energy. So we were not like 30-40 years back, we were not aware how to use this hydrogen energy. It was solved 30 to 40 years back, but we were not serious and the cost was very high. So now we have solved to some level, some extent that we can use this hydrogen energy, and there is lot of energy available. Now there are two things in energy, that how to produce it, how to use it. We know how to use it now, but how to produce it is very costly. So we have somehow solved how to use it. Now we are still solving how to produce it. Now if you see, there are three type of hydrogen. One is hydrogen from nuclear power. So now it has the same amount of energy. It is producing, when you use this type of hydrogen, it will use huge amount of energy for production, because we are using nuclear power to reduce the methane to hydrogen or ammonia to hydrogen. Okay. Now, if somehow we are able to produce hydrogen with the help of wind power, solar energy, or tidal energy, then this is the cleanest energy what we can get. And using hydrogen fuel cells, we can power up our vehicles. So, this is the best solution available right now, technically. But economically, producing hydrogen is costly, and using hydrogen is less costly. But this cost point we have to solve, for which government has done really good job. They are like pushing hydrogen policies. Indian government has declared 2.5 billion dollars investment for producing hydrogen. NTPC, ONGC, everybody is working on how we can produce hydrogen. So hydrogen has a very good potential from technical point of view as well. Now if we see from business point of view, it is difficult, but from technical point of view, it is a good solution. So now what we are doing in hydrogen, in this Germany, if you want to understand what will happen in transport sector, you should see Germany and Japan. They only know what is automotive sector. Okay, everyone is a follower. So Germany long back went to electric vehicles, then they stopped electric vehicles. Now they are switching to hydrogen. They have made trucks, buses, hydrogen buses. Japan never went to electric vehicles. They are focusing on hydrogen IC engines. Okay, so Toyota has developed an engine where they can use hydrogen for combustion. Now they are working on optimizing the hydrogen production and uses of hydrogen. So now these countries are very serious about hydrogen. This is around 4 months old data. 2 months back and 1 week back, India has done significant improvement in hydrogen. So from early stage, we have reached to a semi-mature stage where we are ready to jump into hydrogen once we are through with electrification. Australia is significantly forward. They have set up multiple countries. They are ready to use hydrogen for their own purpose. Korea, they have very beautiful companies working for hydrogen fuel cells, one of the best hydrogen fuel cells, compact fuel cells, because fuel cells are large in size, and as you increase the kilowatt requirement, they become quite large. So Korea has worked on downsizing the hydrogen fuel cells. We are also in touch with few Korean companies. So they are working seriously and to reduce the size of fuel cell, so that ultimately we can reduce the weight and get the maximum output of the fuel cell power. So yes, this is the hydrogen and people are serious about it. It will come as we see today, unless we find some other good energy alternative solutions. I personally believe hydrogen is the first element in the periodic table. So there is some reason why it is the first element in the periodic table. Let's hope it saves the world by helping us reaching the net zero greenhouse gases emissions. Now the beauty is, whenever you see a new technology, okay, now do you know Who got the GPS first? Who was using GPS first? Any guesses? Ma'am, you? No? Behind you? Okay, no, not them. Sir, you in the center? White shirt, sir? Yes. Who used Bluetooth first? Navigation, GPS? Yes. All the latest technologies are used by, thank you, sir, right answer. So, all the new technologies are first developed for army, for defense. They use it when they find a better solution, they offer it to public. So, sorry. Yes. So, US Army declassified this document around 3 years back, and they are already working on hydrogen vehicles. I had few defense members, and now they are not there. I spoke to them about this, that they have a problem of acoustic signatures and heat signatures that is available in IC engines. So now it is not available in electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles. So US Army has already developed vehicles using hydrogen energy, and they are really good from the surveillance point of view. They can enter into enemy territories. They have done experiments internally that it is quite safe to use these things for surveillance in the enemy territory. So yes, army already has it. Now the costly technologies, first army uses it, then engineering teams reduces the cost, and then it comes to public. So I personally believe yes, hydrogen is one of the viable solutions after we complete the cost reduction activity along with defense. Yes. So we are not doing it for ourselves because we will not see the benefit or the negative things of GHG emissions. We know it is difficult, it is complex, it is costly, but it is necessary because next generations, we have to leave a good world for them. So that is green mobility all about from my side. Keep innovating because innovation only can take you forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.